is up. So, it's not my birthday anymore. It only lasted a day. But guess what? Guess what my mama gave me? She gave me some earrings, some hoop earrings, of course. Some golden motherfucking earrings, bitch. The fuck? I'm just kidding. My mom, I love my mom. She just.
So I want to say one thing to y'all. Um, the way she speaks, I can definitely detect that. I would assume she's from LA. She's from somewhere in LA. I don't know which part because I'm not from LA like that. I'm from up north, the Bay Area. But you know, me being around in Southern California, that's how a lot of Chicanos talk. Now, let me ask Andre. Andre, do they sound the same on the East Coast?
Some Latins does, but I could tell she exactly. I can't read her dialect. Seems like she's definitely maybe not from the East Coast.
Okay.
First time I heard.
All right. Let me finish playing. I'm just assuming, but I may be wrong. But based on my assumption, being from California.
The sweetest lady ever. But anyways, so I'm gonna talk about these because I said I was gonna talk about it, and here I go. Relationships between Latinas, Mexicans, whatever you want to call it.
Hold on. Let me. Hey. I know you're probably gonna see this video, but when you're doing vlogs or whatnot, or just videos, if you want to minimize the background noise, that'd be a big plus. Just kind of giving you a little tip or whatnot. So that might be, your faucet running, or you probably cooking in the middle while in the middle of you doing this little vlog. But just a little tip. Just minimize the noise a little bit because it's a distraction to what you have to say. Well, let's go ahead and get into it.
And black men. Basically, in the Mexican culture, if you are seen with a black man, well, I'm gonna talk about my family. In my family, if you see a black man with a Mexican girl, she's a thirsty little thought that likes black dick. That's how they fucking see it. Like, since I was little, I would just watch Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Like, I would just sit there and watch Fresh Prince of Bel Air because that show was the shit. It gave me.
Now let me intervene on this. Now what she is saying based on how she grew up, especially around blacks. L.A. is predominantly blacks and Mexicans, and especially in certain areas or whatnot. But if you grew up around blacks and you're gonna adapt to the environment, and vice versa with Mexico. If a bunch of people, let's say for example, pretty much if you grew up around blacks, or if you grew up around a specific ethnicity, a specific culture perhaps, you're going to adapt to those ways indirectly, subconsciously. So you learn how to adapt. It doesn't matter which ethnic group you're a part of. If you're around the majority, like they say, you are a product of your environment. But girl, look, if you want to go ahead and chase some black penis, go ahead and do you, baby. Ain't nothing wrong with that, because you know what they say about those Mexican women. I don't need to explain on that. Let me go ahead and resume this though.
So much lessons. It taught me so many lessons. And my mom would always give me the, why are you watching negros? Why are you watching them negros? You like negros? And it was like, ugh, you know, annoying. And then I would listen to Tupac, Ice Cube and all that. And my mom's like, ugh, ya vas con tu música de negro. And I'm like, Mom, are you fucking racist? Like, what the fuck? She's like, no, I'm not racist. We're all children of God. So in my head is like, why are you so against black people then? She's like, no, I'm against black men because they use women.
Mm.
They use women and have kids with them and then they leave them. And then I'm like, but isn't that what Mexican men do too? Like, no.
Now let me pause right there. Now, even though my ethnicity, black Americans, we have a fucked up profile. I can call that shit out. Even the things that they might do that I technically have not done, but I hold myself accountable as a collective. That's just how it is. We have to hold each other as a collective, even though we may not be responsible for the shit, but we have to try to do better. That's just how it is. We all get judged not based on individualism, but or as an individual, but as a collective. So if someone says, point out a lot of bad factors on, you black specific men, I gotta eat that shit. Like, damn, that is, I be doing some fuck shit. But we do have our pros to it too. Though we got pros and cons. But if they call it out and it makes sense, if it's the norm, I just sit back and eat that shit. I don't try to debate it because it's part of the norm. We just got to do better. We got to change it.
You can't really expect to eat that because it goes for every ethnic group. It goes for every race doing the same thing.
Okay.
She gonna make nobody's staying with there's a lot of deadbeat dads, and she mentioned that point too.
No, I understand that, but I'm being very specific. So when she has specifically said that her grandma has said that we're speaking in reference of black men specifically, I then came back and said, okay, yeah, we have a fucked up profile. We have a very bad profile, but there's a lot of pros to it too, though. But if we have a bad profile as a collective and it's normal. This is the daily shit that people see, and they bring it up about these cons. I eat it because it is a norm. I can't debate the normalities. The only thing that I can say is that we can try to do better as a collective. I hope the next man can, take his own actions and try to do better. If he does fit that stereotype and he does the norm, what her grandma speaks of, being a deadbeat dad, i.e., if he has kids personally, he needs to take care of the kids. No matter what kind of relationship he has with his girl or his baby mama, has some responsibility for the kids. Whatever that situation is.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
That's all I'm saying. So look, we get judged as a collective, and if it's part of the norm, what people normally see, if it's more than less,
yeah,
I take it. I don't defend it because I know that we can't judge everybody, but if it's the norm, it's the majority rules. That's how I look at it. All right, let me go ahead and finish this.
All of them, but isn't that what Mexicans can do too? All the Mexican men are alcoholics and leave their wife or hit their wife. Isn't that our story?
That Tecate, las Bucanas, arriba Sinaloa. Hey, that Bucanas, if y'all come out here to TJ or y'all come out here to Mexico, and if y'all want to get drunk, y'all got to get that Bucanas. That Bucanas con jugo de piña, that's that shit. That shit go down real smooth, and that shit have you on. But besides that, let me play this video.
And she just stopped, right? So anyways, time kept going, and one time I went to fuck around with my mom. So I told her that I had a black boyfriend. But this was a lie, because I didn't have a black boyfriend. I wish I had a fucking boyfriend. I was a little lonely bitch with no boyfriend. And she said, like, Mom, guess what? I have a boyfriend. And she's like, oh yeah? Like, she got mad. And she's like, and I said, I have a black boyfriend. Like, her whole face changed. She got all fucking angry. She looked at me, and she's like, el día que tú traigas a un negro a esta casa, que me largas. Practically saying, if I ever have a black...
Now, let me pause there right here. So, this goes out to all of you Chicanos. I don't know if your guys' grandparents have put you guys on game, the historical game about how Mexico, the actual country Mexico, how it played a huge part in colorism, and it's called the caste system, also known as a hierarchy based on your skin complexion, and the whiter you are, the more social power you have. So you have the mestizos, you have the Afro mestizos, you have the Spaniards, and etc. the caste system was based on the mixture between the bloods, and the closer you are to the white blood, or the the whites that's in your blood, the more power, the more social power you'll have. And of course, going down that pyramid, the African blood was at the bottom, but then you have the indigenous, the indigenous people. They were right above the African blood. So they wanted to be closer to the white for social power. So that played a big role in Mexico, and I know that it was passed down through different generations. So if you get the same type of reaction as this girl here, when it comes to your grandparents, they still might be under that traditional custom of the caste system. It plays a huge role, but that's just something that I've learned out here. And also another major factor, we got to get one thing straight, because I know a lot of brothers, African American men, oh man, all Mexican women the same, and they have these same stereotypes. Well, look, I'm out here in Mexico, las Mexicanas. Like, when I refer to Mexican women born and raised in Mexico, I call them Mexicanas. They're not Mexicans. They're Mexicanas. They're native to their land. But at the end of the day, rather, if you throw a prefix on it and call it Mexican American, you remove the prefix, you're still American. That's just how it goes. That's just like, I'll use myself as an example. I'm African American. I'm not African. If I go to Africa, will they look at me as being part of them and being African? Fuck no. Two complete different countries, two complete different regions on the planet. Africans, African Americans. I'm a descendant from Africa, but my culture is predominantly American. So that's how I look at it. You have to distinguish the two. Mexican American, also known as Chicanos or Chicanas, and Mexicanas y Mexicanos. The cultures are completely fucking different. Completely different. You'll have a complete different experience as well. Now, that's pretty much what I have to say about that. You guys have to stop mixing Mexicanos and Chicanos together, because that shit is completely different. Even the locals out here, they don't look at Chicanos as being Mexicanos like them, because they grew up differently, and they call them pochos or pochas, a person that predominantly has American culture, but they have ancestry from Mexico. That's what the people tell me. You want to speak on that, Andre? Andre, you there? All right. I guess he's not there. But I just want to point that out to you guys.
I'm here. I hear.
Oh.
Something you said I thought was interesting. In regard to how they feel. But yeah, you could play the video. I'll come back to it.
Okay. Yeah. So, Mexicana, Chicana. I'm just saying. That's what I've experienced. God damn. Think about those Mexicanas. They're really traditional. Cooking, cleaning, satisfying to their man. A lot of them that I've came across, they have very good traditions.
Or whenever I ever bring a black guy to the house, I can get the fuck out of there. I have no home. I'm kicked out forever. Like, it was that deep. Really, Mom? Like, but I don't even blame her. It's nothing against my mom. It's what her parents taught her. It's what it's been taught, engraved in our heads.
Boom.
That
There you
black
got.
men are cheaters,
You
that
hear
black
that?
men are bad, that black... But you know what?
It's been passed down from generation to generation. It's fucked up. But here's a solution that you guys can possibly can do better. Not pass that aspect and those traits down. to your generation of offspring. That's how you guys can be better than your ancestors. And not just speaking into the Mexicans, but I'm just saying in general, even us blacks, we may have some fucked up traits, but how can we do better is not pass down those fucked up traits down to our next generation below us, our offspring, and the youngins, the young ones. Let me play that.
I feel that in every culture there's bad and good. Every culture, not all of them are the same. Every culture is like there's good and there's bad. You know, there's a couple, some couples here in this neighborhood where the girl is like Mexican and the guy is black, and I seen them. They've been together for a while. So obviously, it's not the same story for everybody. I'm not saying that some black men cheat, but I feel like it's not all the same. I feel like it's like stereotyping people. I feel like you should get to know a person before you even judge them. And the thing about it, I don't like is
God
when black girls
damn,
talk
that
about
running
the
faucet is
Mexicans when they're with
killing me.
with the black men. Like,
You gotta turn that shit off
girls
next time.
Spanish girls are taking our man. Spanish girls this, Spanish girls that. Like if we are bad or something. Like we're in 2018. People been together from different races, but now it's more open. Now people don't give a fuck. Like oh yeah, I'm with a black man and I don't give a fuck. Like people will walk around and not care, as they should, because you fall in love wherever the fuck you want to fall in love with. And it's like, no matter what, if you are Latina and you're walking around with a black guy, according to everybody, you love black dick. You're a thirsty little thot. But you know what? You shouldn't give a
That
fuck.
motherfucking Dragon Slayer.
Do whatever fuck you wanna do. Fuck whoever you wanna fuck. Be whoever you wanna be. Doesn't fucking matter. Because at the end of the day, everybody's opinion shouldn't fucking matter. And I don't go by people, what they say. Fuck what everybody says. My mom taught me one thing, but I'm not teaching my daughters that. If they wanna fucking marry black, chinos, um, Indian, whatever the fuck they wanna be with, as long as that motherfucker loves them, I'm cool.
Amen on that. Now look, here's what I'll have to say on that piece. Um, Look, it's like this. Look, and I try to be very modest as well. I try to be as humble as possible, but this is the norm as well. Black men are known to have dragon slayers. That's just what it is. Look, I'm I'm being the most modest, but it's like, look, we all know that if you're white, you have social power, you have social status. That's just how it's always been. That's how America was built off social power. And if you're white, you have that privilege. That's been passed down from generation to generation. The thing is, I'm just calling it out. It is what it is. Social power, dragon slayers. It is what it is. It's genetics. But besides that, I think she had a lot of good points on this. And my whole point, in conclusion, is that if you guys didn't learn the caste system, good. But understand how it works and don't pass that shit down to your next generation. So I think that's fucked up. And the last thing I want to end on this. Out here in Mexico, when I see, una morenita con su mamá encanta a su niña, sí es su hija, pero it's muy bonito la situación. She is proud than a mother lover to be showing off su morenita. Super proud. So maybe you guys look at it differently in the States, but out here in Mexico, they love to show it off. Because I guess it's not a norm out here. And the first thing that they do is playing their hair, sus chinos. But that's just what I see. And I think that shit's amazing. I think we all need to be mixing and dibbing and dabbing. That's how I look at it. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you guys learned something from her and me. I try to be informative as possible, and I do a lot of research. I am a historical mother lover when I'm looking into the roots of it out here. But you know, come on, man, we can't be ignorant. The more knowledge you have and obtain, the less ignorant you'll become. That's what I'm gonna end on. Ahora pues, Negrito Grande, one love. Let me know what y'all think. Drop them comments below. And if you think I'm giving you good, informative content, drop a donation or something. Let me know. Ahora pues, Negrito Grande. Vale.